Why does your male cat choose to sleep beside you every night, when there are couches, blankets, beds, and quiet corners all around the house? It feels simple on the surface. Cute, comforting, maybe a little clingy. But the truth goes much deeper than most people realize. This behavior isn't random. And it's definitely not just about warmth. When a male cat sleeps with you, especially consistently, is communicating something powerful about trust, bonding, territory, and emotional safety. And once you understand what's really happening, you'll never look at those quiet nighttime cuddles the same way again. First, you need to understand how cats think about sleep. For a cat, sleep is not casual. It's a vulnerable state. In the wild, sleeping in the wrong place can mean danger. Even domestic cats, no matter how pampered, still carry that instinct deep inside them. When your male cat chooses to sleep with you, he is choosing a place where he feels completing his guard down. He's saying, without words, I trust you with my life. That's not dramatic, it's biological. Cats only enter deep, restful sleep when they feel protected. If he curls up next to you, presses against your side, or sleeps near your head or chest, it means you are part of his safe zone. Many people assume cats are independent to the point of emotional detachment. That's one of the biggest misunderstandings about feline behavior. Male cats, in particular, can form incredibly strong bonds with their humans. When he sleeps with you, he's reinforcing that bond daily. Sleep is when bonding hormones like oxytocin increase. Every night he spends beside you, emotional attachment. Over time, you don't just become his owner, you become his chosen companion. There's also an important territorial aspect. Cats are territorial creatures, but territory doesn't always mean aggression. It often means ownership through affection. When your male cat sleeps with you, he's subtly marking you as part of his territory. Not in a possessive or negative way, but in a familiar bonding way. Your scent mixes with his. Your bed becomes space. This is why some cats get unsettled if their human sleeps somewhere else for the night. It's not jealousy. It's disruption of a shared territory that represents safety and routine. Routine matters more to cats than most people realize. Cats thrive on predictability. If your male cat sleeps with you every night, it's because you are part of his daily rhythm. You are not just a source of food or comfort during the day. You are woven into his internal clock. Nighttime is when the house is quiet, threats are minimal, and instincts soften. Choosing you at that time means he associates you with calm, stability, and emotional grounding. Now let's talk about why male cats, specifically, often show this behavior more intensely. Male cats tend to form strong social bonds, especially when neutered. Without the constant hormonal drive to roam or compete, their focus shifts inward, to their environment and the beings they trust within it. Sleeping beside you satisfies a social need that male cats have but rarely express in obvious ways. It's their version of closeness without vulnerability overload. They don't need to be picked up or kissed. Just being near you is enough. If your male cat sleeps pressed against you, that closeness has meaning. Physical contact during sleep serves multiple purposes. It reinforces safety, warmth, and emotional connection. But it also mimics kittenhood. When cats are young, they sleep piled together with their mother and siblings. That contact regulates body temperature, heart rate, and stress. When your adult male cat chooses to recreate that experience with you, he's placing you in the role of family. Not caretaker. Family. Some cats choose specific positions, and each one carries subtle meaning. If he sleeps at your feet, he may be guarding the boundary of the bed. If he sleeps near your chest or neck, that's often a sign of deep trust and emotional attachment. Your heartbeat and breathing are soothing to him. They remind him that someone is there, alive, steady, and familiar. If he sleeps near your head, he may be drawn to your scent and the warmth of your face. But it can also indicate that he sees you as a leader figure. Someone he wants close to the most alert part of his body. You might wonder why he chooses you over blankets or warm furniture. The answer is emotional security. Warmth can be found anywhere. Safety cannot. You move, breathe, make familiar sounds. Your presence signals life and protection. In a quiet house at night, you are the most predictable and reassuring thing in his world. Another layer that often goes unnoticed is emotional mirroring. Cats are highly sensitive to human emotional states, especially those they're bonded with. If you're calm at night, your male cat absorbs that calm. If you're anxious or restless, he may stay closer than usual, almost like he's monitoring you. This isn't coincidence, it's social awareness. He's attuned to your emotional baseline and adjusts his behavior accordingly. Some people worry that letting a cat sleep with them creates dependency. In reality, it's the opposite. A secure cat is an independent cat. When your male cat feels emotionally fulfilled, he's less likely to show stress behaviors during the day. Sleeping with you helps regulate his nervous system. It gives him a reliable anchor point. From that place of security, he can explore, play, and relax more confidently. There's also a protective element involved, even if it doesn't look dramatic. While cats are not guard animals in the traditional sense, they are alert. When your male cat sleeps with you, especially lightly dozing rather than fully sprawled out, he's maintaining awareness of his surroundings. He may wake at small sounds. That vigilance isn't just self-focused, it's shared. You are part of the environment he's monitoring. This doesn't mean he thinks you're helpless. It means you're part of his inner circle. It's important to understand that this behavior is chosen, not forced. Cats do nothing out of obligation. If your male cat didn't want to sleep with you, he wouldn't. No amount of training or affection could override his instincts. The fact that he returns night after night means the experience consistently meets his emotional needs. If your cat ever stops sleeping with you suddenly, that's worth paying attention to, not as rejection, but as communication. Changes in sleeping behavior can signal stress, illness, or environmental changes. But when the behavior is steady, it's one of the strongest signs of feline trust you can receive. Many people underestimate how emotionally rich cats are. They don't express love the way dogs do. It's quieter, subtler, more deliberate. Sleeping with you is one of the highest forms of affection a cat can offer. It's not flashy, it doesn't seek attention. It simply says, "This is where I belong." And for male cats, who are often misunderstood as aloof or dominant, this behavior challenges those stereotypes. It shows their capacity for attachment, loyalty, and emotional depth. When he curls up beside you, he's not just finding a place to rest. He's reaffirming a bond that exists beyond routine or convenience. You are part of his social structure, part of his safety system, part of his nightly ritual of peace. And in the world of a cat, where every choice is intentional, that means everything. So the next time your male cat settles in beside you as you drift off to sleep, remember this: you weren't chosen randomly. You weren't chosen for warmth alone. You were chosen because, to him, you represent trust, familiarity, protection, and home. And that quiet decision, made night after night, is one of the purest forms of connection a cat can offer. Cats do not express affection in loud or obvious ways. There is no jumping, no constant seeking of attention, no dramatic displays meant to reassure you every few minutes. Instead, their love language is quiet, restrained, and deeply intentional. For a cat, affection is not something to be performed, it is something to be chosen. This is why their signals of love are so often misunderstood. Many people miss them entirely because they are looking for noise where there is meant to be silence. A cat's affection is shown not through excess, but through presence, and nowhere is this more visible than the way they choose to share space, time, and vulnerability. Silent affection begins with proximity. When a cat chooses to be near you without demanding interaction, that is not indifference, it is trust. Cats are highly aware of their environment, constantly evaluating safety and threat levels. Sitting near you, sleeping beside you, or remaining in the same room while you do your own thing is a form of emotional alignment. It says that your presence lowers their stress rather than increasing it. In the feline world, that is a powerful statement. Love does not always ask for attention, sometimes it simply exists comfortably alongside you. Another overlooked sign of feline affection is restraint. Cats rarely overwhelm the beings they care about. They regulate how much contact they offer, because vulnerability must be managed carefully. A cat that presses gently against you, rests a paw on your leg, or touches noses briefly is offering controlled closeness. These moments may be short, But they are meaningful. Each one is a decision. Each one requires trust. Silent affection is built on the idea that closeness does not need to be constant to be real. Eye contact plays a major role in this quiet language. In the animal world, prolonged eye contact can be a threat. Cats know this instinctively. When a cat looks at you slowly and blinks, or allows their eyes to soften in your presence, it is a sign of emotional safety. This slow blinking is one of the clearest forms of feline affection, yet it often goes unnoticed because it lacks drama. It is not meant to impress. It is meant to communicate peace. When a cat shares this moment with you, they are lowering their defenses in a way they would not do around strangers. Sleeping behavior is another pillar of silent affection. Sleep is when cats are most vulnerable. Muscles relax, awareness drops, and reaction time slows. Choosing to sleep near someone is an enormous expression of trust. It is not an accident or a habit formed without thought. Even domestic cats retain the instinct to choose sleep locations carefully. When a cat sleeps beside you, they are making a statement that your presence equals safety. There is no need for vocal reassurance. The act itself speaks. Cats also express love through predictability. Returning to you day after day, sitting in familiar spots near you, following established routines. These are not signs of boredom. They are signs of attachment. Cats invest emotionally in consistency. When they choose you as part of their routine, they are integrating you into their sense of stability. Silent affection thrives on repetition rather than novelty. Each repeated behavior reinforces the bond without ever calling attention to itself. Grooming behaviors also reveal this quiet love. When a cat licks you, nibbles gently, or grooms near you, they are extending social behaviors normally reserved for trusted companions. In feline social structures, grooming is not just about cleanliness. It is about bonding, reassurance, and group cohesion. These behaviors are subtle and often brief, but they carry emotional weight. A cat does not groom indiscriminately. It is a selective act offered only where comfort and trust already exist. The absence of constant demands is another misunderstood signal. Cats who love deeply do not always cling. They do not need to prove their attachment through constant contact. In fact, a cat that feels secure may spend time alone without weakening the bond at all. Silent affection allows space. It trusts that connection does not disappear when distance appears. This is why cats can leave the room and return later, settling near you again as if nothing changed. To them, nothing did. Body language offers countless examples of this restrained love. A relaxed tail held upright when approaching you, ears that remain neutral or forward in your presence, a body that stretches out rather than stays tense. These are all signs that a cat feels emotionally safe with you. They are not dramatic gestures. They are baseline states that only occur when stress is low. Silent affection is not about peaks of excitement, it is about the absence of fear. Even the way a cat chooses to vocalize or not vocalize can be a sign of affection. Many cats reserve certain sounds for their humans alone. Soft chirps, quiet trills, or low meows are not meant to command attention but to acknowledge connection. These sounds are often brief and situational, appearing when a cat enters a room or makes eye contact. They function more like a greeting than demand, reinforcing social bonds without disrupting the calm. What makes silent affection so powerful is that it cannot be forced. A cat cannot be trained to truly trust. These behaviors emerge only when the animal feels emotionally secure. They develop over time, shaped by consistent, respectful interactions. Every time a cat chooses calm over vigilance in your presence, they are reaffirming that bond. And because cats are selective, that choice carries weight. This form of love also explains why cats may appear distant to outsiders but affectionate with one person. Their affection is not evenly distributed. It is concentrated where trust has been earned. Silent affection does not seek validation from everyone. It is private, almost exclusive. That exclusivity is not arrogance, it is emotional economy. Cats invest where it matters. Understanding feline love requires slowing down and observing without expectation. It means recognizing that affection does not always look like excitement. Sometimes it looks like a cat sitting quietly across the room, watching you with half-closed eyes. Sometimes it looks like shared silence. Sometimes it looks like nothing at all unless you know what to look for. In a world that often equates love with intensity, cats offer a different lesson. Their affection is steady, understated, and deeply intentional. It exists in choices rather than displays, in presence rather than performance, in trust rather than dependence. Silent affection is not weaker than loud affection. It is simply spoken in a language that values calm over chaos, depth over volume, and connection over noise.